So today we are really proud to have the Executive Medical Director from Singlife, Dr. Leow Khee. And of course, don't miss the chance to optimize your healthcare strategy. You're going to have valuable insights into employee benefits, medical insurance, smart supplementation strategies, and how you can bridge healthcare gaps and achieve greater peace of mind with Singlife's innovative cancer solutions. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we have Dr. Leow Khee to address us.
Hello, good afternoon. So being the last speaker, big challenge, right? So those people who are in a webinar, you feel tired, stand up. Make a quick turn, but don't go away, because otherwise nobody listen to me. Okay, without further ado, first I'm most honored to be here for the IHH IX webinar. I would like to thank IHH Parkway for giving us this opportunity. Now, as all of you have heard the earlier two speakers, right? Physician Lim as well as Dr. Tanuja, everything about relating to medicine, be it preventive care or treatment. So they have tell you, what is it about the diseases? What do you need to do? So what do I need to do? Although I'm a medical doctor, but today my focus will be what you need to prepare yourself or your family in the event that unfortunate event happen, like whether you get a very ill illnesses or for that matter cancer. How do you pay for it? What do you need to look after? So without further ado, let me share my deck. Okay. Don't be worried about the agenda. Basically, there are only two main points, right? The first point is, as some of you and most of you are here, either from the company extending this invitation to you, or you're a HR practitioner. So therefore, I will start off my first part of my slide regarding, give you a bit of run through what is employee benefit, what do they cover, how do you use it, and then the second part of the slide, then we say, can you complement some of these with your own individual insurance? Okay, so let's begin. Now, first, what is employee benefit? Now, if you look at this deck, it's a very simple deck. Honestly speaking, they mainly can be classified simply that if you and me, I'm working for an ABC company, like I'm working for Singlife, what do they give us? On the left-hand side, in the employee benefit, simply mean most important thing, your salary, compensation, bonuses. This month is a bonus month, so hopefully you got a good one, okay? Yeah. So the compensation is the first one. Second thing, you have all the leaves, right? Now, beside your annual leave, childcare leave, now you have great paternity leave, maternity leave. Don't underestimate the leave. The leave are actually dollar that the company really have to pay. You don't come to work, does not mean no cost to them. So that's one. The other thing is about, a lot of companies now have health screening, and then they also have, some of them can even use optical benefit, right? Or even holiday. Now, how do companies fund for employee benefit? One, they actually use it from their own expenses. So X dollar every year will be put aside. Now, I just give you a bit of numbers, right? You will be surprised that the employee benefit cost is not that cheap. It can go in thousands per employee. All right, so that one is important for us to appreciate that these are the things. Now, the other one on the right-hand side is what we call term as group insurance. So what is group insurance? Group insurance, majority of the time, is where your employer purchases the insurance from an insurance company. And what do they cover? Life insurance. Life insurance means the normal, what you call a term life. In the event of an employee death, X dollar amount will be paid to the family. Now, so maybe people ask, why do the employee death have to deal with the employer? Now, honestly speaking, if you think of it from a purely cost point of view, may not make sense. But you must remember, for the employer, they have a certain duty of care to the employee. So actually, when somebody died, who actually got the money? It's not the company, it's the dependent, right, of the employee. So that is very important for us to understand. And then, of course, under here, you also have critical illness, which most of you are so confused by the industry, that from the old days of 37, now you have 188. All right, but never mind. Critical illness is when a person has a heart attack or a cancer, an X dollar amount is paid. Now, most of the company who can afford it will also buy a add-on critical illness to your term life cover. Now, the other part is health insurance. This is a very important part, which I will describe in more detail later. Now, the other thing is personal accident, right? So sometimes the employer also add on a personal accident. To a certain extent, the personal accident also pay when a person die from an accident. Of course, thank goodness, in Singapore, our incident rate of accident, fatal one, is much lesser. But when you also run around, fracture yourself, or you go skiing, now people like go skiing and then fracture here, all sort of things, personal accident also covered. So broadly speaking, in the space of employer benefit, there are one part that employee benefit out of pocket from the employer, and the other one they purchase. So now, one more thing that honestly that nowadays happen, in fact in the past 10 years, more and more companies now do what? Flex insurance. Alright, so what do? They basically can say that if I need to spend $2,000 per employee, can I transfer this $2,000 into points? Now, just a simple calculation of $1 to 1 point, the flex benefit honestly is for you as an employee to spend. Either you can actually spend it for a health screening, or you can actually spend it to purchase your individual insurance. Now, it's another day discussion on flex, but I need you to understand that the whole spectrum of employer benefit can come in either the company self-funding or purchase insurance. Now, as I said, we will now focus on health insurance. So what is a common health insurance thing? Now, this 3 circle is a very simple thing to illustrate. Basically, number 1 on the left-hand side is your primary care. As most of us know, when you have a cough, cold, diarrhea, and things like that, you may see a GP. But don't underestimate, when you have hyperlipidemia, Singaporeans get a lot now because we eat too much and too good food, right? So the hyperlipidemia, the diabetes, the hypertension, most of it that you can treat it in outpatient are also done in a primary care setting. Now, then in some company, they are much better. They say, hey, besides you go to GP, I can also cover you for specialist outpatient. Now, you will realize that the 2 small bubbles, how do they fund it? The company can fund it by self-funding. Self-funding means they use a company expense to fund it, and then they may actually send to people like iExchange, which is a third-party administrator, to actually administer for them, because companies like any company, they are not specializing in this, right? Now, on the other hand, some company may say, well, I do not want to self-fund, I can purchase the insurance. So these are 2 methods of funding, right? Now, the cost, you will realize that we put low to high, right? Now, all of you will know that when you visit a GP, nowadays it's not cheap already, it's a $50, $60, sometimes $100, $200, right? But it is still a per event of the hundreds that you get. But when you go to an inpatient, which is the biggest deck on the purple color one, can you afford it? Not so simple. Nowadays, even a simple scope, you just go in, or even an ovarian cyst that you remove. Hey, guys, $10,000 and above is not uncommon. Trust me, I'm an insurance company executive, so I can tell you that's real, right? Now, so majority of the time, the insurance company will do what? The inpatient care the employer will do what? The employer will actually purchase the insurance care. So the concept here is, the simple one, some companies can self-fund. The bigger one, please, no company should fund it on your own. You should purchase one. All right, so I broadly give you a description from the employer perspective. From the employee perspective, honestly, you may not need to be too bothered how they fund it, but you must have a very conscious understanding of how it works. So that because I come back to my first earlier flex point. A lot of time people wasted their flex point. Actually, flex point should be used and maximize it. Because why? They are your money that your company put in your hand to make the best choice that fit your need. Okay, now, we have talked about employer benefit now. Then what do we talk about now? We talk about what happened. Now, how, if you can fund it or not. You as a worker, just need to depend on your employer benefit. Good enough. I don't have to do any other thing already. Now, let's see some of the illustration here, right? Now, this is a common things that happen. John is covered by his company medical insurance, let's say up to $25,000 per disability for each hospitalization. Now, the following illustration is quite simple, but I need you to understand that because it is a simple webinar, this is just an example. The reality is it is more complicated when insurance company really pay benefits. Now, but long short of it is, if let's say in the procedure one, gastroenteroscopy, let's say he has an obstruction of the gut, and then they did an operation, then what happened? The total bill come out as 18,000. Let's say it's the 18,000 bill. Honestly, the company benefit of 25,000 per disability fully cover him. So he's fine. If he doesn't have the individual insurance, no problem. No need to worry. But will he be so lucky? Not always, because just now, as Dr. Tanuja has said, right, if 4 of us in the room now, 1 of us will get cancer in our lifetime, so that's not so simple, right? So therefore, let's say you go to the procedure 2. Now, what happened in the procedure 2? Again, I need to let you know this is a simplified version. So let's say John has a lung cancer. Now, if the lung cancer is a very early one and the doctor say, okay, we don't need to remove you, we just need to give you cancer drug treatment, then fine. Now, but you look at the cancer drug treatment, under the CDL list, even the total bill come out to 70,000. Now, assuming that the company benefit pay all 25,000, then the remaining 45,000, he is out of pocket, means he has to pay himself, right? So what does out of pocket mean? Out of pocket means it come out from your pocket lah, not other people pocket, your pocket lah. Okay, so how do you pocket it? One, cash. Hey guys, 45,000. Cannot. Or you actually can come out from your Medisave. But remember, Medisave have a daily limit of $1 you can come. Now, therefore, to be honest, the most efficient way to take care of higher bill is to buy what? Buy insurance. I'm not here to sell you insurance, but I just have you to tell you the financial reality, right? Now, so what do? You can either buy other insurance that is not integrated shield, but most of us who are Singaporean or PR, we actually have basically what? MediShield Life, right? MediShield Life is the basic one, but please remember, MediShield Life only allow you to go to the government restructured B2 or C ward. Hence, if you want to go to higher ward of restructured A ward, or for that matter, private ward, like in the IH type of hospital, the Mount E, or you can go to the Parkway East, right? Then what happened? Honestly, under this situation, you have to use your integrated shield as a complement. Now, so therefore, this is a very simple deck to tell you that in the good old days, most of us probably can just depend on a company insurance to take care of us. But unfortunately, inflation is high, aging is real, medical advancement is so good. So you see, Singapore got this word, right? I speak in Hokkien first. They said, means that you can die, but you cannot get sick, okay? Because you may not be able to pay for it now. So therefore, let's go and see another situation, which now I come back to cancer. Okay, so we have finished the first part, now we are on the second part. So henceforth, if 1 in 4 get cancer, what is a reality check? This data come from the real in Singapore. So cancer is so common that 46 every day in Singapore are diagnosed with cancer. But we have to be real. It does not mean all the diagnosis is at the stage 4. Some cancer are early cancer, some are stage 4. But therefore, prevention is important. Remember, the earlier speaker had told you prevention. Early detection is the best way to manage your cancer and also a best way to manage your dollar. Now, the other thing is the cancer is a leading cause of death in Singapore. 1 in 3 deaths actually are contributed by cancer. Now, the last part is, just now we say, can die, no treatment, how, right? So, we are now telling you a real figure. In Singlife, we actually have cases that in 2022, we actually pay a claim that the outpatient cancer bills already cost 1 million, just the outpatient. In other words, the surgery and all the other costs are not counted inside. So, therefore, can you afford it, right? Now, the other thing is, just now Dr. Tanuja also mentioned about the newer treatment, which she called CAR-T, simply means cell tissue gene therapy, right? Now, the cell tissue gene therapy is coming and is here to stay. Ministry of Health will be getting a lot more clinical guidelines and treatment so that people do not abuse it, but it is one part of possibility for some of the leukemia type of cancer. Now, on the average, the cost can be Singapore dollar 600. But some cases we have seen that it goes into the million. So I'm not here to scare you, I'm just here to tell you a reality check. Okay, so now we come to the second part of it, which is called the Singlife Cancer Cover Plus. Very, very mouthful lah. So, like all Singaporeans, let's do abbreviation, called CCP. Okay? So if you cannot remember anything, when you get out, you just remember CCP, Cancer Cover Plus 2. All right. Now, what is exactly this particular thing is, right? This particular insurance is this. All right. It is first in the market, in a way, yes, that is very real. I'm not here to xian hua, I just tell you the real thing. So what is the 3 key features, the unique point about this Cancer Cover Plus, the CCP? The first one, 01, please read there. What happened is, if you have a medical condition that's cancer, and beside all the other insurance, where every insurance has certain limits, then beyond that, what do they do? This is an exchange plan, and it is suitable for what? Private care. Okay, in other words, if you want to do a private care in any of the private hospital, be it IHH, Mount A, or whatever, this will help you to defray the cost of treatment. The other thing is on an annual basis, which is number 2, look at the 02, the annual limit is 1.5 million per year, and each year it will be refreshed. Now, please remember, because this is what we call by the complementary insurance, so therefore there are other insurance that you have will pay the first layer and the complementary comes in. Later on, I'll show you in some of the example. Now the number 3 is what? 03. Now just now Dr. Tanuji already illustrated to you about the logic and the reason for the cancer drug list. All right, and then there's also the non-cancer drug that comes in. So therefore, you will see that all the treatment that Dr. Tanuji mentioned actually fit nicely into the Cancer Cover Plus. Now, so how does it fit? Now, if you look at it, on the 1, CDL. So henceforth, in the CDL, for whatever reason, if your own corporate insurance or your own individual insurance will have a limit. Later I show you a deck. Every insurance has a limit one. So therefore, those will become your first layer that you claim. Subsequently, when it's above that, the CDL actually comes in and it actually pay up to 1.5 million. All right. Now, non-CDL, I won't mention too much about it because it's a bit complicated, and some patients may need the non-CDL, but who is to determine how to use the drug? Now, we truly believe the oncologist is the best person, so the oncologist will tell us, give us evidence-based thing, and then insurance company will from there decide whether it can fit in the non-CDL. Now, the other one is cancer drug services, because when you had to give a cancer patient, right, before you put the chemotherapy, you had to do blood tests. And also, you remember cancer treatment, you had cannula, you had all these things. So these are the services. Now, the proton beam. Please do remember, proton beam is not something that we will use easily, because what happened is there are other radiotherapy that you can use. But proton beam has its own specific usefulness. It is very much useful for a tumor that is in a very enclosed and small area, especially also for the young. Now, if a very young person has a tumor of the brain, proton beam probably is a better choice than other radiotherapy. The reason is because just now Dr. Tanuji has already explained to you, proton beam is very targeted. It goes to the cell directly. It doesn't destroy the remaining area of the cell. Now, I think Kati just now I did mention. So therefore, you will nicely realize that the product fit into the clinical requirement of the cancer treatment. Second thing, the basic of your treatment is you may have your company insurance and your other individual one, but don't underestimate. The day will come, because the day will come where inflation and the cost go higher. And what do? This Cancer Cover Plus will nicely fit into the third layer. Now, please remember, the unfortunate thing in insurance is this. Sorry to say, but it's real. You had to apply the insurance when you're healthy. When you really get cancer, no matter what, actually not Singlife, every insurance company cannot give you the benefit. So don't think that, doesn't make sense lah. 1.5 million, what will happen? Inflation will happen. Remember, some of you who are older, maybe you remember your HDB 5-room flat at 60,000. Now HDB 5-room flat at 1 million. Okay, so I don't need to explain, you know it, right? Okay, so how does the bill look like? Now, it's a very simple one. Just look at the right side, right? Now, so a person who received treatment in, let's say, this particular drug called pembrolizumab. Now, then what happened is the drug on the CDL, we are only talking about CDL drug, is 35,000 per month. Now, so how does the cancer cover plus 2 work? So what happened is on the red one is where I have mentioned many times, the deductible means that it had to come from your other insurance, be it your company or your IP or whatever, otherwise come from your own pocket as cash. Now, after you suffice that, then Singlife Cancer Cover Plus will pay the $23,000. Okay, now this is a very simple example. As most of you will know, you may have integrated shield plan. So look at the right column. Integrated shield plan, what I've illustrated here is not the Singlife one. It is the 7 insurance in it. These are the different range. Then what do you realize that in every of the range, there is a dollar limit that they will pay. So if anything above the dollar limit, what happened? You're on your own. So how does a Cancer Cover Plus talk about? You look at the second column. So the second column, it is as charged. In other words, those that cannot be paid by other plan, the as charged plan comes in, and premium is very affordable, cheaper than your Gucci bag, okay? And male, female, same price. So age next birthday at 31 is $135, 51 is $390. Now, so those are the things that you probably need to think about it, but we don't have much time to go into the very much of the detail. So this is the last deck to the second last slide. Now, so what it just show you is in the claim 1, the lung. Now, so you will realize that if you have a bill of 33,000 per month, then what happened is the customer technically will get 9,002 paid by himself or his other insurance, but the CCP2 will pay the 11,800. Now, the second example is on the non-CDL. So long short of it is, I hope we have give you 2 very important concepts, which is 1, do not underestimate your employer benefit. They are real benefit. So please understand your employer benefit, and then at the same time, understand how your personal insurance comes in. And for some of us who may one day unfortunately get cancer, or our family have cancer, Cancer Cover Plus 2 actually is a good add-on. Now, we will be closing the webinar and then go to the FAQ. So if you do have any question, please scan to find out more. The QR code is there. Well, once again, thank you for listening, and I hope that you have a good afternoon. Goodbye.